My family, hi. So the last time we shared a video with you about what Brother Brandon has said about United States of America, Israel, and Iran, this is what he had said.
Don't trust the Ayatollah. Do not trust the Ayatollah. He's operating and he's lying. He's a liar. The Ayatollah is a liar.
And I remember I actually said that all these talks are just being done to prolong things, you know. He's never gonna be in agreement with whatsoever President Trump wants.
The Ayatollah is a liar. He's a liar. He said we're going to have this. It's to prolong.
White House is tight-lipped on reports the US and Israel could watch coordinated military action against Iran.
Before I share with you the latest prophecy, this is what he also said about escalations in the world.
And I saw a great escalation of war. And I saw all this peace agreement and all this stuff going on with Hamas and the Gaza. But I saw to watch a surprise attack again, worse than the October 7th. And the Lord said to me, in the middle of the night, watch what happens. They are upset with how Israel did Iran and the nuclear capabilities. They may have a bit of a peace agreement here, trying to bring the hostages and all the stuff, right? But there's more to this. Do not let your guard down, Israel. And people say, well, you know, they have it coming, whatever. I'm telling you, folks, I pray for Israel. I pray for the peace of Jerusalem. But I'm telling you, folks, we're in the end of the end times.
But I don't know if the escalations between Israel and, you know, the Hamas issue, whether it ties into Iran, I don't really know, but I just felt to share this with you. Well, let's get into the news before I share with you the latest prophetic word.
Talks between the US and Iran are currently underway in Geneva. America has built up...
And sorry, before I go any further, this includes the latest news and also some previous news, so this is just a compilation.
Talks between the US and Iran are currently underway in Geneva. America has built up military forces around the Middle East, but claims it wants to find a diplomatic solution. As Dominic Waghorn explains, the discussions briefly paused, but have since resumed.
It's not entirely clear why they broke up. All we've heard from the Iranians is that creative ideas were raised that both teams, Iranians and the Americans, had to consult with their capitals about for a few hours. Other sort of well-sourced reporters have claimed that the sticking point was to do with the Americans' rather hardball demands. That included an insistence the Iranians cannot enrich uranium at all. The Iranians have always insisted that they have a right to enrich uranium for civilian purposes that most people are skeptical about. But that demand was among a number of maximalist demands from the Americans, it's reported. Some the Iranians weren't happy with. Anyway, they have got back to talking. We've just watched Jared Kushner, the American president's son-in-law, and Steve Witkoff, his chief negotiator, leave the Four Seasons Hotel behind me, get into their car. I shouted at them whether they were optimistic that they can avoid war with Iran, and they gave no comment. But they have gone back now to the Omani ambassador's residence on the banks of Lake Geneva, and they're back in talks. So, you know, these are really crucial talks, of course, because there's such a massive military build-up in the region. The American aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald Ford, is now steaming towards the coast of Israel. We have the USS Abraham Lincoln in the Persian Gulf. Both of those aircraft carriers at the center of carrier strike groups. They're surrounded by destroyers and other vessels. The Americans have flown a lot of warplanes into the region as well, and they've just announced that the Fifth Fleet headquarters in Bahrain is now on mission critical staffing, so that's down to 100 personnel. The last time they did that was in June, shortly before the Americans launched their B-2 bomber campaign against the Natanz nuclear site in Iran. So all the signs are of things moving towards a war, unless this diplomacy can avert that out.
Let's go overseas now, because there has been talks in Geneva for many weeks now between Iran and the US, and this is over doing some kind of nuclear deal. Well, those talks have wrapped up. There's no breakthrough there. They say good progress is being made, but at the same time, the US continues to send warships and jets to the Middle East. So what does that say about where this is all headed? There were question marks about Trump's temperament and what he might do in international conflicts when he did take on the presidency 2.0. Joining me live now is Mike Pizzullo. We're going to get into a bit of that now. He's a former Home Affairs Secretary. Good to see you, Mike, once again. I think this is really important to look at what's happening with Iran now. He did that, what we thought was a one and done strike on Iran's nuclear facilities, but of course there's still a lot of activity in that region. Trump was elected the second time around with this kind of America first push. They thought that he wouldn't get involved in these international conflicts, but that hasn't been the case at all.
Good morning, Laura. No, indeed it hasn't been, and you could be excused living here in Australia perhaps not to be paying a lot of attention to this. Obviously, international affairs experts are, and obviously Iranian Australians certainly are, because of what's happening back in their homeland country. But obviously we've been consumed here post-Bondi, the establishment of the Royal Commission, what's happening with the ISIS brides question. So, look, this might be at the margin, at the edge of our consciousness, but it's a really important issue in terms of world affairs, and it's going to have some direct implications for Australia, which I'll get to in a moment. But to the kernel of your question, I think there was a misunderstanding about what America First meant. I think in the first term we saw signs of this. We're certainly seeing signs of it more so in the second Trump term. America First does not mean America isolated. What it does mean is America using its tremendous strategic power, its military power, its financial leverage, the fact that it can impose sanctions, the fact that it can undertake military strikes seemingly almost at will around the world. I think Trump is rebranding or reshaping is the better word, I should say, American power. I think, however, this potentially gets to the upper limit of what he can do, if you will, in terms of America alone.
The president was very clear last night that he always prefers diplomacy. But I want you to understand, and everyone should know, that Iran poses a very grave threat to the United States and has for a very long time. They are in possession, first and foremost, after their nuclear program was obliterated, they were told not to try to restart it. And here they are. You can see them always trying to rebuild elements of it. They're not enriching right now, but they're trying to get to the point where they ultimately can. The other thing I would point you to, however, is that Iran possesses a very large number of ballistic missiles, particularly short-range ballistic missiles that threaten the United States and our bases in the region and our partners in the region. And all of our bases in the UAE and Qatar and in Bahrain. And they also possess naval assets that threaten shipping and try to threaten the U.S. Navy. So I want everybody to understand that, and beyond just the nuclear program, they possess these conventional weapons that are solely designed to attack America and attack Americans if they so choose to do so. These things have to be addressed.
All right, here's reaction. Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton is with us. Senator, I want to ask you this. When Iranian state television says they will not, that they will continue to enrich uranium and they continue to build up their ballistic missiles, they continue their saber rattling against the U.S., and they've never agreed to anywhere, any place, anytime, American inspectors anyway. I have zero confidence that their word is worth anything.
A laughable attempt to drum up support for the U.S. carrying out a war against Iran on behalf of Israel. Senior Trump advisors are allegedly hoping that Israel launches an attack on Iran first, which would then trigger retaliation from Iran against Israel, and then it would drag the United States into war that would somehow be wanted by the American people because they would somehow feel the need to protect Israel?
No, Anna, so that's a great point. And as you guys are going to see in the story, you might be thinking, first of all, are the Israelis even going to do it? I'll address that in a second because I have information that you don't, because I was just involved in a debate with the top Israeli. Okay. Second of all, the point isn't, guys, that, we have to protect beloved Israel. No, we just put our planes in Israel, as Anna's about to tell you. So they're hoping that our planes and our soldiers get hit. Our government is hoping that our guys get hit. So then they can go, okay, now we don't have a choice. Wink, wink. Now we have to attack Iran.
So if you actually just notice, some users actually from the left and others from the right, just to bring a balance. All right. But you can actually agree with me that there are escalations. Well, recently, this is a prophetic word that was released by Brother Brendan. Well, some of it, I cannot actually say that he was prophesying, but he was saying, he believes that this is what might happen.
I have had a major caution today concerning, in fact, before I came on here, I was in such heavy intercession. I told her, I said, I feel like the thing with the United States striking Iran is imminent. And now I want to say that I truly believe that this is imminent. Something major is about to take place with Iran. And I believe the Ayatollah Khomeini is about to be removed.
And if you actually are to ask a question, could this mean that this is the end of the Islamic regime?
And now I want to say that I truly believe that this is imminent. Something major is about to take place with Iran. And I believe the Ayatollah Khomeini is about to be removed. I really believe with all my heart that we're about to see the man with the gray hair come on.
And to be honest, I don't really know the man with the gray hair. You can actually tell me in the comments. I don't really actually know who he's talking about. All right, let's continue with this.
And the same with the escalation with Cuba. I believe that the government, there's going to be a regime change. There's going to be a major shaking in this area. I keep seeing it.
And lastly, he talked about the involvement of Russia and China.
I saw them striking us in the middle of the night with some kind of biological weapon. It was coming and it was brought to them from Russia. And it looked radioactive. It had some kind of symbol on the side. But this is when I saw the dragon come up out of the ground 3 times. And it was purple. Now, I believe the dragon represents something with China.
So yes, this is actually what we have for you from Brother Brandon. I'd like to hear what you think about all this. Like, share, comment, subscribe. God bless you. Don't forget to pray, all right? Keep praying for there to be peace around the world.